Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
Oh, toes.
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Episode 137 from Bibles Pod coming at you live. I'm one of your hosts, Tom Harkins. Join me, H. Gar.
Steven, Woj to it.
I'm a max headroom.
Wow, did I miss a meeting?
That joke will make sense to you tomorrow when you listen.
It will.
Something-
Did my mic cut out a little bit?
Something happened where
Uh,
it did an echo.
I
On
think
it.
my
Some
volume-
weird echo thing.
Yeah, I think my gain on my microphone was a little too high. But listen, that's what happens when you're on vacation, right? Things get all fucking wacky.
It's over now, bud.
Yeah. Well, for you, it's over.
Oh,
I don't go back to work until the 8th. So you
Ah.
guys enjoy going to work tomorrow.
We will.
Suckers. Well, my kids got stupidly. My kids got off the week after New Year's this year from their school district instead of the week prior, like they normally get. So
Huh.
fine by me. I'll take it. I will take it. Happy New Year to everybody. How was your New Year starting
Happy
off?
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Very subdued. Very
My
subdued.
New Year started with the Penguins getting their ass handed to them by Washington, so probably not so good.
Me too, Bill. Me too. Not by Washington.
Well, not
but
by Washington also.
Carolina.
My team's undefeated in the new year.
Having a
Hey,
mixed doing well against Washington, terrible against Penguins. So I don't know. And really good against Carolina.
Mm. Nick, you look different. I don't know what it is.
The hair is
It may
out of
is
control.
it the hair is a little poofy? Is it humid down in Carolina?
A little bit. Hold on.
Lack of a hat too. I think.
Well, no, wait a minute. That's better. That made all the difference.
Wait, it's
There we
the
go.
glasses. The
No.
glasses.
Oh, he had the glasses on before.
Oh, then it was safer.
So funny thing, I shaved like on the 24th.
That's
I think.
it.
So, like, I shaved like everything off because I was trying to like fix it up and I made a couple bad unrepairable mistakes and I'm like,
Uh-oh.
all right, forget it. So I just shaved the whole thing off.
Reset.
It's not a big deal.
I'll
Yeah,
just
whatever.
I'll just go a little shorter here.
Yeah.
No, I'll just go a little short.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that was basically what happened. So then I just shaved it all off, and I came down, and Tara's like, "Oh shit, well, your stocking is going to be a little confusing." It was like all beard stuff.
Oh, that's perfect.
Now, in fairness, I've had a beard for probably, I don't know, 8 months. I don't know. I've just been trying to keep it in shape, but then I've been pretty lax at the end of the year here, and obviously my hair is very long, so.
But
And,
you sold your beard to buy her combs, and she sold her hair to buy you beard stuff.
That's
It's
right.
Such a sweet story.
When I sold my rubber ducky.
I want to touch a little bit
Yeah,
on what Nick said
I
at the
get it.
beginning, where he said he shaved everything.
Do
Can
you?
we
You wanna-
can we
you
start
wanna-
there?
You want to touch on that?
I would love to touch on that.
Wow. Okay.
Can we play Guess What's in My Pants?
Listen,
Fantastic.
I didn't shave my feet. Relax, all right?
Whoa.
That would really get him. That would really get him
Whoa.
crazy.
Wow. Now you're trying to just get me excited, Nick. You're doing this on purpose now.
Of course, every time. Wouldn't be by accident.
Everybody have a good Christmas. Everything okay? Did you get anything for the podcast? Any microphones, headphones, speakers, new laptops? Nothing. Nick is
Nothing.
pointing at something. Nothing.
Nick got a new server.
I got some cool Islanders gear from my Secret Santa, who's my mom. So that was pretty
Aw.
cool. But other than that, yeah, it's some beard stuff that I can't use for a bit until I get my beard. I actually Tara had me a really cool thing. It's like for smoking it's like your drinks, just putting like
Yeah.
a little thing over top and burning a little bit, I guess, of whatever it is. I'm not sure.
Does it look like a gun with like a hose attached to it? One of those?
No, it's actually like a piece that goes over top, and it has like a little metal like catcher thing, like a little like it's like a thimble. You put the stuff in, you use a butane, light it, and then put the thing over top, and then smoke goes right into the drink, and then you pull it off after however long you're supposed to do it to make cool looking drinks and stuff. I haven't tried it with my bourbon yet, but I think I'm gonna try that later because it'll be fun to do that.
It's amazing to me sometimes, Nick, that you don't live in Brooklyn. You would like be total hipster guy. There's no question about it.
I probably would be. And I'd be yelling at all the hipsters. That's the really bad part.
Did anything happen? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say right now, but it's funny you said because I was looking in the mirror this morning or this afternoon after took a shower and my hair was poofed out. And I'm like, put my glasses on. I'm like, man, I look just like the guys from the three brothers from the
Hansons?
Hanson brothers. I was like, I could be a Hanson brother right now. Looking real Hanson-y.
You're very, very versatile, Nick. Very versatile.
Yeah, so you do.
So there was discussion over the break, Nick. I want to bring you in on the discussion that we had. My son Ryan for Christmas got an official WWE championship belt, and this thing is holy crap. You always see wrestlers get hit in the face with these goddamn things. If you hit somebody in the face with this belt, you could kill them. You could literally kill them.
They are huge.
They're real leather. The button snaps on the back, and just the plates themselves that are on these things are ridiculous. So there was discussion about making a Friends and Rivals championship belt, and having it go to the winner of a fantasy league after probably starting next year. We would all chip in and buy the belt, and it would be presented either at Thanksgiving or at Christmas, depending upon who won, and that person would keep it for a year. What do you think?
Done. I'm in agreement. I think we need more than 4 people if we do a fantasy league, though. That's the problem.
We can invite some listeners.
That's exactly what I was going to suggest. We can maybe reach out to some folks that we've
some loyal listener.
Maybe a few.
But you would want to give our fancy fantasy belt to a dirty, filthy listener?
That's what I'm trying to. I can't get past that though.
I mean, listen, that's kind of the thing though. You got to be good at this to earn it. So,
I mean, listen, if one of them did win it, it would be riding the ground a little bit because the sheer width of the belt would touch the ground for sure. Poor little Brian.
What are you talking
fair
about?
Fair enough.
Poor little Brian. No, but it's funny. Ryan tries to put the belt around his waist. It's like a fucking hula hoop around him. It really is hilarious.
They're awesome. I'm in.
Excellent. Well, I was in New Jersey last week. Froze my ass off. Well, it wasn't okay. It wasn't that cold. It was okay. By New Jerseyans' standards, but it sure was good to be home tomorrow or today rather. But anything exciting in the NHL happened over the Christmas break? I mean, I can't. My in-laws did not have the NHL network, so I was a little jaded from watching the World Junior Championship that's going on, at least the first part of it. But I didn't catch up much. I mean, of course, I have the Twix and everything else, but I there was just so much shit going on that I really didn't have time. Did anything exciting happen?
League wide, the only thing I really recall in terms of something that caused a stir was one of the players apparently in one of the games recently was mic'd up. And after he high-sticked another player on a face-off, he admitted that it was intentional. Like they both went down for the face-off, and then with his high hand, he kind of hit the other guy in the face with a stick. And
Was
then,
this at the
not at the Winter Classic, no.
Winter Classic?
No. But then later admitted that it was kind of on purpose because
That's
this
great.
player that he hit had done something to one of his players earlier in the game. And apparently there is a rule that if a player is mic'd up and they say something incriminating, it can't be used against them. So even though he
that doesn't
full on
surprise me very
admitted
much.
that he did it on purpose, they can't fine him for anything.
Oh. I didn't mean to take my skate off and stab
Right,
you in
exactly.
the leg, but now I can't be fined for it. This is fantastic. Oh, that's really.
Yeah, that's what was going around.
Oh my God. All right. Well, at least what was going on was the World Junior Championships. Now, I did not see a lot of the preliminary round robin games, but it did catch a little bit of the USA game today. Boy, I think the Rangers found something in Gabe Perreault, huh? But even that, and not just him, but it's just that entire line from Boston College. What are they, 13-3-1 or something on the season at BC? With the I don't know the two other guys' names, but I know they were drafted ahead of Perreault in last year's draft.
Well, isn't the Fresh Prince one of them? Doesn't Will Smith go there?
Yeah, Will Smith and Brian Leonard. Maybe his name's not Brian, but I'm going to call him Brian Leonard.
Brian.
I think it's Leonard Smith, Leonard and Smith
Cohen.
and Perreault. And boy, oh boy, they're considered a third line on Team USA. Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's wide open for them now too, right? It's pretty much wide open.
Canada was knocked out.
Can you what 20 seconds left to go in the game off a bad bounce? It was hilarious.
Oh,
They don't have Bedard. They don't
we're gonna have low ratings in
Fan-
Canada.
Fantilli. They're hurting, I guess, for some of that high end talent to power them through some of those things. But Finland's always good, or Czech's always good. You know, Finland's going to be in the semis against the US. I got that mixed up, but hey, if you fight that hard against Canada for the entire game and then make it to the point where you are able to take the lead with that much time left, I mean, it's a hell of a kudos to the Czech team because they're obviously not going to be the favorite in that matchup. That's a pretty big upset to see. So.
Well, they were tough to play against, right? They brought the Team USA to a shootout, right? Wasn't they the only team? Czechia. I think it was Czechia that they played that the game went to the shootout.
That is correct. That they did have a 4-3 win. But US did go to shootout for them.
So the game after that was Switzerland and Sweden. Does anybody know who won that game?
Sweden won.
Sweden won overtime.
Yeah. I have a couple of prospects left.
Oh yeah.
Does everybody else does as well? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I know you do. I didn't know about Bill Bill's not allowed to have prospects.
They actually had somebody playing for Team Canada.
And Nick's GM is Lou Lamarillo, so he doesn't have any prospects.
I don't have any first round picks. So that's what we don't have.
Yeah.
But
so
we have,
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So just to jump on that, I also have two players on the U.S. team, both forwards, Quinn Finley and Danny Nelson. Quinn Finley was drafted third round, 2022, and 78th overall. Nelson was our second round pick this year, in 49th overall. They're both 1 goal, 1 assist through all the games. They're averaging around 10, 12 minutes a game, basically. So they're getting good minutes, but they're not producing at a high level here at this point. But in some of the games, obviously there were some blowouts, but I was surprised to see Finley even on the team. Nelson was happy to see him there. It's just they're both kind of it's Finley's debut in the global stage kind of thing. And then Nelson's he played in the U under 18 World Championships last year. So he was doing pretty good there, but obviously not lighting it up this time around. But hey, he's still developing. We'll see how he turns out. But hey, it's just good experience, you know. I'm just happy to see two of our prospects in the semifinals. You know, it's good to see.
Well, I think did they credit Nelson with that goal today? I know
Yeah,
Casey
that was his
shot it
first
from the
goal.
point.
Yeah.
Get off him. Get off his leg. It was really I had just right place, right time, off your leg deflection in front of the net. Not a skill goal specifically, but hey, you take it. You take it, you know.
Absolutely. No question about it. And Bill, how's Casey doing in St. Joe's?
St. Joe's today. Glad that you brought that up. They played number 6 St. John Vianney and won a thriller in overtime. Number 6 in the state. They knocked them off.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
shit.
to the St. Joe's Falcons. Yeah.
Wow.
Way to go. Way to go.
What did they play this game in upstate New York? It seemed like any game I tried to get to last week, they were just. I mean, why did they play so many games so far away, or is it just my dumb luck that week?
Yeah, dumb luck because they had a tournament that was played in all the games were played in Wayne last week, and then they had a road game up in Hackensack, and then now today's game was in at Jersey Shore Arena down in Wall Township against St. John Vianney on the road.
That's not any closer.
No, not really, but it's less of a pain in the ass to get to.
I would definitely agree with that.
Distance-wise, probably the same, but you got to drive up to fucking Wayne or Hackensack. Fuck that.
What a fucking disaster.
Uh-huh.
What a disaster. Don't worry, Nick. You didn't miss much.
It's okay.
We were just
I hate my
bantering.
stupid spot in my headphones. Turns off. That ends the call.
Well, don't end the call.
Yeah, don't hit that button.
No, please don't do that again.
Try not to. Thanks, guys. Good advice.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome. That's what we're here for.
But since you turned it off and on, it should probably be working optimally.
It works. It's great now. Fantastic. Better than before.
Wait, now you and Steve have shift places on my Zoom calls. Now.
Yeah, me too. Mine too.
God
Yeah.
damn it. God damn it.
You know you can rearrange them, right?
It's such a hassle.
It's just click and drag.
Really? Never tried
Such a
that.
hassle. Such a hassle.
I did it.
Did you really?
I didn't know
Didn't
that.
work. Oh, it
Zoom.
did work.
Are we gonna start?
Imagine
soon?
that.
Are we gonna start the
Oh,
podcast?
wait.
soon?
No. I'm gonna put Billy's gonna go first.
What?
There you go.
Second.
So now you can kind of
Go
do that.
Third. Yeah,
can-
now
There you
I
go.
like this. This is good. I'm good. Thank you for bringing up this new information to us.
This is our new segment.
This
Zoom Text
really
with
is.
Steve.
Zoom tech support.
Check your Zoom settings.
If you accidentally log out, you can move everybody around just by
Why do you sound-
clicking.
Why do you
Why
sound
do you
like
sound
a
like a
movie
movie
phone
phone?
guy? Yeah.
Hell.
This is my tech support voice. What are you talking about?
We went right into
Press
the presence of
9 to
Nick.
get more.
Now it's a
help.
little Jerry Seinfeld-ish.
What's the deal?
This is
What
my
do you
tech
mean?
support voice.
You don't know what's going on. Why don't you cry about it?
Does anybody listen
Wait.
to this?
We are. All right, Jesus Christ. All right, let's take a ride in the metro. Sponsored by Rich Wholesome Nestle Quick. Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
And we will start with your 4-0-1 Pittsburgh Penguins this week.
Ooh.
Yeah, well, in the last 10, they're 7-1-2, and that was good to bring them up from 7th place in the East to 7th place in the East. Not in the East, in the Metro.
Catapulting them.
Yeah, did nothing for them in the standings because they were so fucking far gone. But you know, good week, good 10 days, good 10 games of hockey. I'll take it anytime. The Penguins, right up until tonight, which I didn't get to see the first part of the game because I was watching that St. Joe St. John Vianney game. But right up until tonight, over the last several days, they've gotten great goaltending from both of their guys, not just Tristan Jarry, but they've been actually preferring to go with Alex Nedeljkovic for
Jesus
several
fucking Christ Almighty,
Pretty
God in
good.
heaven. That's
Pretty
not how you
good.
say his fucking last name, Bill.
No, he's the Penguins guy. He's got to know how to say the guy's name.
You would think.
Nedeljkovic. But I like
you.
I like annoying Tom though. Yeah, so before the break, Delkovich actually got the last couple of starts over Jari. So and it wasn't because Jari was struggling, not until tonight. But it's just that Alex was playing that well. So so kudos to him. Then you know, they when I was looking at the schedule when we last met, you know, they had the game against Carolina. They had two of the Islanders, both teams they could not beat last season. I was not expecting great things, but they actually won all three of those games. You know, the game that they played against the Islanders on Long Island right before Christmas was a 7-0. They just smashed them. And you know, you can't win a game 7-0 without, no team loses 7-0 in the NHL without playing like absolute garbage. So there was an element of the Islanders just giving up. I mean, the goal they gave up after the timeout to Gensel seconds after they had scored was ridiculous. Should never happen like that. You know, he came in on a breakaway, you know, 20 feet ahead of anybody. So how that happens after a timeout, you know, I can't make excuses for the way the Islanders played. However, for the Penguins' part, it was a game where they, you know, they were all even strength goals, all 7, and they were really forechecking well. They were very relentless on the forecheck. They were forcing a lot of turnovers. They were working the puck. They had long shifts in the offensive zone, and it was like a callback to when the Penguins used to do that. You know, so it was good to see from that standpoint. But again, like I can't excuse the Islanders' effort in that one. And then they did come back a few days later and beat them again. In Pittsburgh, I think it was 3-1 or 3-2, 3-1. Yeah. So it's been a successful couple of weeks for the Penguins. Although, you know, like I said, it's not really helping them in the standings move up anywhere. I guess getting closer, sure, but not really making up any ground. Couple notes: Chris Letang had some records set in that game against the Islanders, 5 assists in 1 period for a defenseman. First time that's ever happened in the NHL. His 6 assists overall for the game were tied for the most in this millennium with Leon Draisaitl some years ago. So only the second time it's happened since the turn of the century. And you know, Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson's been interesting because he's just not had the impact that, you know, I think the Penguins had hoped. He is a plus 13 for the season, but when you look at his points, like 24 points, I think tonight in 30 something games, you know, I don't think anybody expected him to be that 100-point guy again. You know, that's like a career year, you know, that he had in San Jose, but I do think they were expecting somewhat closer to a point a game than what he's been able to deliver. But I think as long as he's been a plus player, I think there's, you know, they're able to be patient there. Sidney Crosby tonight went into number 12 on the all-time list, scoring. He just passed Joe Thornton with a goal and an assist tonight. You should check out the goal he scored tonight. Flat on his back, batting the puck out of midair was kind of crazy. So highlight reel goal there. So things have been going well for the Penguins. They did, you know, they went into tonight's game. They gave up 4 goals in the first period. They were down 4-0. We're through 2 periods now. They've scratched their way back to being down 4-3. So we'll see how the rest of that game goes. So that's been the Penguins.
Steven, New Jersey Devils.
They just don't seem to be able to want to put a streak of more than 3 games either won or lost in a row this season. It's pretty weird. It's just, win 1, lose 2, win 3, lose 1, win 2, it's just back and forth. So 3-2 during the hiatus, wins over Detroit, Columbus, and Ottawa, losses to Boston and Edmonton. And it's the same things that are getting causing issues. Giving up the first goal, poor defensive zone coverage, goalie's not coming up with a timely save. And just continued inability to win the second half of back-to-backs as well. They've had 6 this season. They've won the first game 5 times and lost the second half of it every time. So in the second half of back-to-backs, they've won just 1 game. Giving up the first goal in 25 of 35 games this season, you're just not going to win much consistently when you're going down so early. Schmid was sent down. They called up Dawes. Dawes got the win over Ottawa. Jack 3 points that night. Mercer and Luke seem to be heating up. Luke Hughes was the NHL's 3rd star this week, so hopefully he can keep it up. And the only other thing of note is Timo Meier is out again. Of course, he's still undergoing evaluation, so we don't know for how long. It's not a re-aggravation of his previous injury. It was, and I quote, deemed a kind of medium body injury.
Medium.
What?
No, not upper body, not lower body. Medium body.
They got
So
him
it's
right in
his
the balls,
vagina. So it's his vagina.
That's a great question. It could be in that general vicinity.
Not here so much.
Not so much here or here, but week ahead,
right
they've got Washington tomorrow on Wednesday, Chicago at home on Friday, and then Vancouver on Saturday at home. So again, a back-to-back this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Let's see if they can buck the trend of not being able to win both halves.
Nick, Icelanders.
So the Isles have had last two weeks about a 2-2-1 I guess stretch, and interestingly, the Isles have only had 4 regulation losses in their last 22. Two of the 4 came in the last 2 weeks against the Penguins. Both Penguins have their number right now, and it wasn't more evident than in the 7-0 loss against the Penguins or a few games ago. But it's been pretty much kind of like that stat just kind of is really how I've been watching the Isles. They've been this year. They've just been somehow winning games or getting making it to the overtime, losing overtime. But the overtime losses are just, it's a point neither way. So it just doesn't matter, and it just keeps them in the race really pretty well. And if they could do better in the shootout, they'd probably be closer to first place. But they can't win a shootout for shit. So this week, or past 2 weeks ago, last 2 weeks, at Washington, 3-2 overtime loss. Not a shootout, but nevertheless, couldn't win that one in OT. That was off the back-to-back. The game before, I don't remember the game that was off the back-to-back of. That was a win over Oilers. That was the game that was we were recording that night. When the Isles beat the Oilers that night, 3-1. So there was off the back-to-back. They went from Edmonton straight from home to Washington, lost in overtime. Not anytime I back-to-back, I'm never concerned, honestly. Like that's always like a bonus win to me if you win on the back-to-back. But then we had a massive win in Carolina where I was in person to see actually happen. So I was super excited to actually go to one game this year. Just happened to all work out. It was on the 23rd, so 2 days before Christmas. Tara's like, "Why don't you go with your with your dad. I'm like, because since my dad was in town, I'm like, that's a good idea, but I got to bring the boys. So it ensued about an hour and a half of trying to figure out tickets and where to get them and where to be, because nothing's in 4 in a row. And long story short, we ended up finding basically right behind the Carolina side of the net behind for the pregame, 2 and 2, like 5 rows down from each other. And so we put the boys down. They were like, I don't know, row J. So it's freaking great. Yeah, we were like row L or whatever.
It's 2 rows then.
So we were 5 rows, so they were further down than that. I don't know. whatever rows, it was 5 apart. So, but they were pretty close. They were only a few rows back from the whatever seats, it's like they cut it off.
Club,
it's like
whatever club.
Yeah, it's like the expensive side. So anyway, it was great. They weren't cheap, but hey, it was fun, and it's when you get to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a 5-4 win, back and forth. Probably one of the best games I've ever been to, just in general. And to have them win overtime or in regulation, but just have them win the game was great. But it was a just back and forth game, and it was a fun game to be at. Packed crowd, and which made it really also kind of funny. I thought it'd be like an empty night. I'm like, it's 2 days before Christmas. No one's going to this game. It's Saturday. Everyone's probably shopping. Well, how wrong was I? So, $50 or $40 for ticket or for parking. I can't even tell you how much I paid. I honestly, we should have eaten before we got to the place, because I'll tell you, that was brutal. Like, so they've been putting in new places in the Carolina. And there's a little bit of a side here, but they put a bunch of new places for eat there, and mostly like local places. But they did put a Chick-fil-A inside there, and my boys saw Chick-fil-A and they're like, God, Chick-fil-A. We get Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, it's probably the cheapest thing here, so let's do that. Well, let me tell you, it was more expensive to eat for 2 people at Chick-fil-A than it was to park there. I think I spent $48 on 2 chicken sandwiches, 2 French fries, and 2 drinks. And there's no combo. It's just like,
oh yeah, sure, all
$6 a French fry, $18 a sandwich, $6 a drink, whatever it was. It was absurd. It ended up being like $48. I was like, you gotta be kidding me for 2 people for that. And so that was fun. We ate like some crappy food I think me and my dad got he got like a pretzel, some wings, and some like a mini pizza. We just kind of shared that stuff, and we got yada. Kids got ice cream. I mean, it was an expensive night, but it was fun. It was a good time. Had a great time with that one. And then followed up with the loss to the Penguins, which Billy summed up really well. 6 goals in the second period. 5 of those were assisted by not Letang, Eriksson, Carlson, and so that was obviously it was Letang. Oh, I'm sorry,
It was Letang.
It was Letang. Right? I was first. Okay, yeah. My brain skipped for a moment there. Letang, but seriously, 5 assists in a period is nuts if you think about it. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So he was on the ice and had a helper on 5 of the 6 goals. So I think that's more the point of the story is look at what happened there. The Isles did not show up in that game, specifically the second period, clearly, and just gave up, and it was a mess. Now they rebounded pretty well, played a fantastic game at home 2 nights later against the Capitals, won 5-1. Should have been a shutout. One of those power plays in the last minute, and scored a meaningless goal to break the shutout for Sorokin. But basically, perfect turnaround. Like, hey, we shit the bed one game, come back, and I was thinking about it too. Is like, can you imagine how many people were off and like went to that game? I mean, I know how much I spent for the Carolina game, doing the same thing in New York and spending a ton of money to see your team lose 7-0. Whew, brutal. So then we turn around and win 5-1. Just much better game. And then a couple nights later, lose to Penguins again. It was really a 2-1 game. Empty netter made 3-1. Much better game. Goaltenders were much better in this game, and Isles obviously played much better than the 7-0 loss. But right now, the Penguins have their number. They're going to have to figure out how to play up against the Penguins and get better against that type of team. Right now they're up 2-1 against Colorado in Colorado as part of a start of a 3-game road trip, which hopefully will help them kind of get it out of their system, that kind of 2 losses in regulation they've had in the last week and a half or so. And they, like I said, outside that, previous 19 or so games, 18 games, they only had 2 regulation losses. That's a ton of points. So you got to keep piling those up because the Metro is looking really tight, really tight. And I say that it's second place is Carolina with 44, 7th place is Pittsburgh with 40. That's outside of New York and the Rangers and the Blue Jackets, who are the outliers. 4 points separates 2nd and 7th in the Metro. It's a knife fight. It's just crazy to see the Devils and Penguins at the bottom of that, with the Flyers above. I mean, and Capitals somewhere in there. It feels like this is going to be a really interesting second half of the season, to see where everybody kind of goes. We're getting there. We're not there yet, but it's going to be interesting. But I just don't see how many teams are going to be able to get out of the Metro and into the playoffs if it keeps up like this. But we'll see how it goes. Some notes. Isles have a couple of guys still injured. Pulak and Pelech are still on the LTIR. Pulak was not on the LTIR; he was on IR, and they moved him over for some. It sounded like just movement and cap reasons. I think they accrue more money, if I'm not mistaken, when they're for LTIR purposes. So he wasn't going to play anyway. He's not skating with the team yet. Pelech is skating in the morning workouts, and he might be doing some by himself stuff. He's not quite there yet. Mayfield's in the lineup tonight. Mayfield's back from his stint, so that's good. He took over Aho's spot, and what's going to happen when Pulak comes back will be interesting because there's a glut of defensemen now, since we had to bring on Riley and Bortuzzo with Pelech and Pulak out for long term. So Riley's played really well. Bortuzzo has been fine, but it likely is Bolduc and Bortuzzo will probably both go down or be passed through waivers or sit some games. I can't imagine they'll sit or replace Riley, who's been playing really well for the Isles since bringing him on. And then obviously you can have just hopefully Pulak and Pelech back in the next month or so. But Pelech definitely soon. He's on this trip, and maybe he'll make an appearance. But I get the feeling he's probably here with the trip just to skate and get back into rhythm of things, and then be back in the next home game hopefully. And then we'll see what happens with Pulak if he's going to be back later this month. So that's the story.
I wanted to talk so positively about the Rangers in the segment tonight, but their game tonight just puts a fucking damper on all of that. All of it. You guys bitch and moan about your back-to-backs. Rangers are 6-0 in back-to-backs on the season. So it can be done.
They've had 3.
Have faith in your. No, they've had 6. They are 6-0 on the second nights of back-to-backs.
Oh, okay. That's
sorry. Let me say that so you can understand what I was talking about. I mean those games before the Christmas break with Edmonton and Buffalo seemed like a distant memory. That Edmonton game where they lost 4-3 wasn't even that close. That was a period of time. And I guess it's all about when you play certain teams, right? And how they're playing. Because when the Rangers played Edmonton in Edmonton was a different team than what we saw in New York. And they came back against the Islanders the night before, and they did it exactly the way Nick laid it out on our podcast that week. How they came back against the Islanders is exactly the way they came back against the Rangers. Minus the Will Cooley goal with a second and a half left on the clock in the game. That was basically a 4-2 loss to the Edmonton Oilers. And then, you struggle against the Buffalo Sabres team. You win it in overtime, but it just, you win going into a break, and it just puts positive vibes on your entire break, and even when you come back. And it certainly does. It certainly does. And you talked at nauseum about that, the last podcast about the Penguins never going to the break. Anything positive. It's always a loss. Mark my words.
Actually, that was just on our text string. I didn't even bring that up on the podcast that they have a 9-game losing streak now going into breaks, going back to 2018. But go ahead.
I knew I heard it somewhere. But they come out of the break and they beat the Caps 5-1. And there's a lot of positives now going into Florida, where they lose a game against the Panthers on the 29th, where Bobrovsky played a really solid first 2 periods. And that's when the Rangers had their opportunity to score, and they didn't. And then they go and muscle a Tampa Bay Lightning team the next night to really end the calendar year on positive vibes. Now, tonight's game against Carolina, this was kind of a revenge game, I think, for the Rangers against Sebastian Aho for fucking injuring Adam Fox the last time they played. And it looked like they were headhunting from the drop of the fucking puck. And if you're going to do that, go out and fucking headhunt and beat the shit out of them and drop your gloves within the first 5 minutes and then start playing fucking hockey. And they never played hockey tonight. Period. End. They were chasing the puck all night and allowing Carolina to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And it's really, really disheartening to see them play like that, because they're a hell of a lot better team than what they showed tonight. I don't know. I'm just really pissed off at this fucking game tonight. And if you're gonna play that way and you're gonna lose that bad toward the end of the game, make it an all-out fucking brawl at the end of the game and at least get something out of it. And they didn't even fucking do that. They just fucking rolled over. And if I'm Laviolette, I am fucking making them skate their asses off in practice tomorrow night. And nobody was good tonight. Nobody. And it's just terrible. And Phil, I know you talked about your third and fourth line from last year. But this year, you need your depth scoring. And they've gotten that from Vesey a little bit on occasion. They have gotten it from Will Cooley on occasion. Those guys are not, there to score some points. But you got players in Bonino and you got players in Barclay Goodrow that are, making money and not producing. Goudreau is 1 for 3 on the season, playing every single game. And Bonino is, I think, even less than that. And they're both minus players. So you need something out of your third and fourth lines, and they're not getting that secondary scoring. The Brodzinski whole thing, I think, he needs to be changed just for a change, just to get new blood in the lineup. And maybe Enstrom, maybe not so much with Offman yet, but maybe calling back Enstrom, who played well in the last game that he played. Maybe it's just throwing a body in there just for the sake of change. Something to mix up that third and fourth line, because they can't continue to not produce. And it seems like the only way that those players produce is when they play up in the lineup, when Cooley is on maybe getting power play time or playing up on a second or third or second line. It seems like that's when they're getting their opportunities to score. But something's got to be done with the bottom tier scoring. And it's just nothing but negative right now. This loss tonight leaves a big fucking taste of negativity in my mouth. And it's going to piss me off until Thursday when they play the Blackhawks. Then they go up for probably a Hockey Night in Canada game in Montreal on Saturday night before returning home next Monday against the Vancouver Canucks.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Yeah.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
Wait, hold on. Bill, are you watching the game? Are you watching? What is that hotness going on the ice right now? Holy shit!
I'm watching with the sound off, so I'm not exactly sure where that came from. But there was
not either.
But there was the cast for 80 for Brady, but they were all in Penguins gear.
Was that what it was? Was it 80 for Brady? Oh my god!
No, that's just what they looked like. I really have no idea what it was. It's a bunch of old women in a Zamboni, maybe a fake Zamboni, probably. Okay, that's it's a visual gag. We'll have to move on.
Yes, sorry. What the fuck?
In which round of the NHL entry draft did the Nashville Predators draft goaltender Pekka Rinne?
69th round.
That's hot. No, there's not that many rounds in the.
It's a trick question. He was undrafted. Undrafted free agent signing.
I like that answer, but it's incorrect. No, he was actually.
I'm going to say 3rd round, 69th pick overall.
Ooh, I like that you're even going for the pick, but it was not the 3rd round. Not the 3rd round at all.
Number 1 overall, clearly.
Clearly.
Pietro level of goaltender.
He was not a number 1 overall pick.
I'm going to say the ninth round.
They don't go up to 9 rounds.
10th round.
Think. No, not the 10th round either.
What the hell did this happen?
That's not a 10th. That's grammatically not correct. It was not.
You're not correct.
In any case.
11th.
Just for that, I got to Nick to the 4th box.
He got downgraded.
Like to move boxes around. I know how to do that on Zoom.
So it's not 1st, and it's not 3rd.
Nope.
6th round.
No.
5th round.
No.
4th round.
Yeah, that's the one. Nick got it. 4th round. He was drafted in the 4th round. Why that's a trivia question is
why the fuck do we care?
I know, really.
Book is so stupid. We really do need to come out with a Friends and Rivals the trivia book, because that one's terrible.
Yeah.
It probably
maybe the rest of the season with it.
It probably sold 100,000 copies of that book.
It probably did.
Unbelievable.
Dare I ask where the next segment is taking us?
Wait.
And now it's time for Impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen, the Friends of Rivals podcast. You're ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this Type 45 show. It's the 20 questions power play. The rules are simple. The group has 2 minutes to guess a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated with one of the 4 Friends and Rivals favorite teams. The group can ask up to 20 questions in rapid fire. Answers will only come in the form of yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they've hit 20 questions or the power play has expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame for unable to win at a children's game. And away we go!
Is player associated with the New Jersey Devils?
Yes.
Is this player associated with the New York Rangers?
No.
Is this person associated with the New York Islanders?
No.
Person associated with the Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
No. Pressure's on. Is this a current Devils player?
No.
How would it be?
Player win a cup with the New Jersey Devils?
Did not.
Did this player go ahead, Bill?
This player is this Devil? Was this a player in the 2000s?
Yes.
Did this player play forward?
Yes.
Player right-handed?
No.
Was this player Canadian?
Yes.
Did this player also spend time on another team?
Yes. What the fuck are these questions?
We're out of
Did this
practice.
player win a cup with another team?
Yes.
So many options here.
There's just way too many.
Yeah.
Patrick Elias Swayze.
No.
No, that's not the way it works, Bill.
Oh.
God damn.
Left-handed Canadian 2000s. No cup.
No cup with the Devils, but he did win a
with
cup.
the Devil. And it's only a Devil, right? You said?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus. Holy fuck.
Shit.
Not a current player.
Licking my chops.
No. This player played in the 1990s.
Yes.
Read it so then signed by the Devils. There's just so many. Yeah, I don't.
Guys are blanked. What's going on, man? No questions?
Yeah, I don't know anybody who's going to fit this criteria.
You-
Brendan Shanahan.
Alexander? No.
No,
Nope.
no, he didn't fucking play with the fucking Rangers.
All right. Last guess.
It's all you,
Put it on
Steve.
Steve. All Steve.
Oh, it's all Steve. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Devils. You guess.
Yeah, I got nothing. I have
Well,
no idea.
don't say you have nothing yet.
Is it
Throw
Claude
something out.
Lemieux?
Nope.
Yeah, I got
Nope.
nothing.
Oh, you won a cup with the Devils.
I know. I got nothing.
Yeah.
Well, then why would you say Claude Lemieux?
Because he's got nothing. Are you not listening? And then he's being forced to take a guess.
You know what? You're going in the fourth position now, Bill.
That's
What
put
the
me
fuck?
down there.
The guess was Doug Gilmore.
He played the 2000s?
He played into the 2000s. That killed you. He really played earlier than that, but he
I
played
did
into the
focus
2000s.
way into like the 2000s. I
Yeah.
didn't even go.
You guys asked terrible questions. Is he left-handed?
Thank you.
That's
we
like
haven't played the
half the
game in
fucking
6
league.
weeks, Nick. Sorry.
Was
you
he Canadian?
brought
Oh
up
man,
that other
that's like
stupid fucking question.
60% of the league. And then
Why
you
wouldn't
just-
that help us, though?
2000s?
What are we supposed to ask?
Then finally, I think Tom finally said 90s, and I'm like, you could ask more questions like,
Should we have
predominantly in
asked,
the 90s?
does his name
Should have
rhyme
asked
with
the
fucking
80s.
Gilmore?
did he play? Did he play for a team in the East? Did he win a cup of the East? I don't know. A lot of questions you could ask.
Where did he win a cup?
Anyway.
I don't know.
Yeah, where did he
Calgary.
win? He win it? Yeah, but
Calgary.
like
Calgary.
when he was really young. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
Calgary. But who did he play for? What in the 2000s? Really?
He played 2020 up to 2001, 2002. He played in Montreal. He finished his career in Montreal, then got traded to Toronto as part of that year.
You gave me $1 million. I
played one
couldn't have
game.
told you that he played in Montreal.
Yeah, he played last year predominantly.
Never
He
would have
played
known
one-
that.
He played one game in Toronto, so I'm guessing he got traded. And
Traded
then,
back just so he could retire a Leaf.
I guess, yeah. I mean, why else take him back? I guess they weren't making they make the playoffs that year, 2002, 2003. Yeah, they didn't make the playoffs that year, so he went back there for probably that last game.
Why on earth did you pick Doug Gilmore? Did we ask?
Doug Gilmore. So the Flames and Leafs pulled off a blockbuster trade today in 1992 as Calgary sent Doug Gilmore, Rick Nitress, Jamie McCoon, Rick Walmsley, and Kent Manderville to Toronto for Gary Lehman, Michael Petit, Craig Berube, Jeff Brees, and Alexander Godnick. Back in the day when he traded 17 players for 17 players. Gilmore was the centerpiece of the trade. He scored 131 goals, 452 points, and 393 games for the Leafs before being moved to the Devils in 1997.
With Doug,
You hear some of the names that went
Pellet.
back to fucking Calgary? Jesus Christ, what the hell were they thinking?
Trades were awesome back before salary.
They're
cap.
crazy.
Oh man.
Yeah, they just sell a million guys for a million guys. They're like,
We're gonna
This
send a
guy's
third of our
guy.
team to you for a third of your team.
yeah, I mean, those. You look back at those. Look at the Lindros trade. It's just like a trade like that can never happen again. Yeah, it's just mind-boggling. So you guys are 0 for 1 to
Flyers.
start the year. Fuck yeah! Finally got one on you
Hey.
guys. It's been weeks since I got one over you.
Well,
Nick and-
okay.
Oh wait, here it is. Shit.
are,
Can't demote him
are we
anymore.
are we sticking with this for the long term now, or do you want to mix it up?
I am working on a new segment for impressions.
Oh boy.
Boy.
I just got to get it to make be a little better before I can try it out, and we'll see. It wasn't
Can't wait.
tonight's. It's going to be an impression.
Okay.
It'll be shorter. Definitely
I
shorter.
like it. I like
We'll
it.
see how it goes.
We'll
see.
I like it. All right, let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
This one's going to bring us to the year of our Lord.
Can you start saying, can we start going to what's in Steve's stomach? Let's see what's in Steve's stomach. Can we change the name of the segment?
Why?
I don't know.
You don't like it?
I like
What do
it
I say?
as-
What do I say?
Let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Yeah.
Can't you just go to let's see what's in Steve's stomach?
Well, I have to bring in the date somehow to this.
Okay, fine.
All right, let's go see what's in Steve's stomach on this particular date in the year of our Lord 2018. Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. See how awful that
Yeah,
sounds?
no, that's terrible. You're right.
Day by day.
All right, go to November 14th of 2018.
November 14th, 2018 was a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Breakfast was a can of Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, 2 mini Milky Ways, and a few combos. Lunch
Wait,
was
what kind of combos?
repeat that?
Wait, is it just cheddar cheese, pepperoni
cheddar cheese,
pizza?
yeah,
What
just
do you
standard
got?
cheddar cheese and
Cheddar
crackers.
cheese.
In crackers.
Just combos. Milky Way.
2 little Milky Ways. Yeah, probably left over from Halloween.
Yeah.
How is that lunch?
That's breakfast. It wasn't lunch. It was breakfast.
Sorry.
Relax, Nick. It's
My
only
brain broke.
breakfast.
Lunch
Brain broke.
was a grilled chicken Caesar salad wrap from Wawa and a 20-ounce Coca-Cola Zero. Dinner was spent with the lovely George Haranka in Jersey City as he was visiting at his hotel. Wings, a Southern fried chicken sandwich, French fries, and a diet soda. Tom, why did you pick Wednesday, November 14th in the year 2018?
Did you say you went to George Haranka's hotel room?
At his hotel. I didn't say his hotel room.
Oh,
I heard hotel room.
your hotel room. That would have been.
We're gonna have to listen back.
We don't need a room for that.
Between Nick Shave and everything, and now you going into men's hotel rooms. No,
If I was going into anyone's hotel room, it would be George Haranka's.
I totally agree. 100%. This is Billy. These guys are sexy. All right.
Let's face it. I think all of us would go for George over. Yeah. Yeah.
Over who? Finish that sentence.
Geez.
No, I think
Finish that sentence. No, fuck you. Fuck you. Finish that
sentence.
sentence. No, finish that sentence.
Over anybody else on this podcast, for
That's
sure.
Motherfucker. Actually, November. You guys, you get, and you have to let me know if you remember this or not, because this is a complete New York thing. November 14th, 2018, reported from CBS, a Jets fan gets a DWI and he blames it on the Jets. I drink too much because the Jets suck, he says. The Jets are struggling pretty bad this season. The Jets are on their bye for the upcoming weekend. They have won just 3 of their first 10 games. They've been outscored by 46 points, which ranks 25th in the NHL. Jets' Week 10 loss to Buffalo was unquestionably their worst game of the season. Buffalo had been dreadful all season and had easily the worst offense in football coming into the game. Yet the Bills hung an incredible 41 points on the Jets, winning the game by more than 4 touchdowns. It was bad, folks, so bad that it apparently drove a 57-year-old New Jersey man to heavily drinking. Wayne police say 57-year-old Christopher Graystock of West Milford was charged after he rear-ended another vehicle around 5:15 p.m. on Sunday. The crash came about an hour after his team's 41-10 loss to the Buffalo Bills. The best part, though, was Graystock's explanation of what happened. Gray Shock, who reportedly had an open bottle of whiskey in his car and was suspected of possessing marijuana as well, apparently told responding officers, "I drink too much because the Jets sucks." Folks, not even the Browns have been bad enough in recent years to be blamed for a fan's DWI. Grayshock, by the way, was also charged with assault by auto. Shit. So he's got that going for him. The Jets, well, at least it can't get worse.
That's right, buddy. Don't worry, because they have such a shitty season. By the end of the year, they're going to draft the quarterback that's going to turn it all around.
That's
Don't
right.
worry.
This is why I don't drink after watching the Jets play.
The article also states that he did come.
Wow.
So we're good. With that. That's what happened November 14th, 2018.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
He came on Fireman Ed.
Also,
all over him.
if this happened on a Wednesday, or this probably would have happened on Tuesday.
It was reported on a Wednesday, yeah.
So that means the guy went on like a 48-hour drinking binge. If the game was on Sunday.
The article did state that it happened about an hour and a half after the game. So it made the papers on Wednesday, but it happened on Sunday.
Gotcha.
For that poor schmuck. Don't worry, guy. It'll get worse.
Yeah, well, yes. The last line of the article was, "It can't get much." Yeah, well, it can, bud. It can, and it did.
Time.
Can get worse by just prolonging it for infinity.
It boggles my mind how the Giants have in a better draft position than the Jets this year.
Yeah.
Well, that shouldn't, because the defense is solid, but the offense was such a mess that it didn't matter. You can't. It wasn't good enough. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. Unless you're drinking.
I'm done talking about them.
Yeah, let's not talk Jets. Let's not do that.
Well, hey, congratulations to Artem Anisimov, who signed a professional tryout with the Hartford Wolfpack today. 35-year-old Artem Anisimov. I hope he never plays a game for the Rangers. God, please. If he does, we're in deep shit. Just like Blake Wheeler playing top 6 minutes is bad for the Rangers. Bad for the Rangers.
You wouldn't want him in for Bonino, who you were just complaining about? I mean, by the way, why did you take Bonino after he failed as a third, fourth line guy with the Penguins?
Because he is our fourth line center. Because Hedl is injured and may never ever play again, he is now our third line center.
Yikes.
Yes, very, very bad. That's why the Rangers are going to sacrifice somebody at the trade deadline for a third line center.
Yeah, I'll take Perreault for Gensel. I mean,
can Gensel play center?
Yes, he can. He
cannot.
He came up as a center.
I don't care.
They weren't going to put him at center with Malkin and Crosby.
He's a wing.
Speaking of trades, word is that Mike McLeod is on the trading block, right?
I heard that.
Which is fine, because his value is never going to be higher than it is right now. And I'm sure... Go ahead.
Isn't he valuable to your team, especially at the faceoff dot?
He's valuable.
He's
number
one in the NHL on faceoffs.
I think Haula can be just as, maybe not number one, but I think Haula can be just as successful in the dot.
Or do you think they're getting rid of him before shit goes down?
I think they're going to get rid of him.
That where you're going?
And his value is high. But is there a team that's in, like, he's obviously going to be traded to a playoff contender. That's who's going to be looking for a role player like that. No, like a million 1.5. He doesn't make that much. Yeah. So, but he's obviously going to go to a playoff contender, right? Because they're going to be looking for a role player like that, a penalty killer and faceoff specialist.
Yep.
The Devils need goaltending. Is there a playoff contender that's going to trade their backup goalie in a deal to get Mike McLeod? Like, I just don't think it's. I don't think
depends
that's
on how
those two
bad
things
the
are going to
Devils want to get rid of him. Depends on how bad the Devils want to get rid of him.
You'd have to add to that to make it work realistically.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to add, and the Devils have.
It's not the Devil side of it I'm confused about. It's the other side. Who's going to want to trade a goalie?
Nobody's going to trade you a goalie for Michael McLeod.
No, not even if they
it's
added.
Just not happening.
Even if they added other things to it, who's going to want to give up a goalie during a playoff run?
Well, the Hurricanes would give you Ranta.
A team that's not in the playoffs, respectively. That would be it.
But yeah, and he's not going to a team. Nobody that's not in the playoffs is going to trade for him.
No, it's not like the Blackhawks are beating down the door.
He's not the target. The target. So if you're trading for a goalie to a team that's not making the playoffs, you have to trade a prospect or a prospect plus draft picks, right?
Yeah,
or
it would be like Nemec and McLeod or Casey
Nemec,
and McLeod for somebody.
I don't think Nemec is going to go in that kind of move.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't either.
I get what you're saying, though.
But it would have to.
He would be the valuable second piece in the trade, and not the primary piece.
Right.
I could see
but
that.
If he does go at the deadline around March 8th, then he's going for picks or prospects or just a money dump for you to do something else.
It's not going to be a money dump because, like I said, he doesn't make anything for it to be.
Yeah, but look what the fucking Lightning gave up for for Hagel. Didn't they give up like 3 second? Yeah, something stupidly crazy.
Yeah, no. If they get some decent picks, I could see it. But they need goaltending. They need goaltending.
But there's a lot of value at McLeod right now, especially in the third or fourth line role.
Yeah,
there's a lot of value for him.
It's not going to be much better than it is right now.
Right, and I was even thinking about it, after the game Perot had today for the World Juniors. I don't know if is it worth trading a guy that could potentially be a number one center for a chance at a cup? Like if we traded Perot for Gensel and included him in a package for Gensel come over here.
Yep.
I know you'd be very high on that, Bill. I get that. We're all in agreement. But I mean that's just old Ranger mentality. That's training fucking Tony Amante for Stefan Matteau.
Well, that's exactly what and that's exactly why I think they're going to trade him, because you've got in him, he's probably better than Kakko or Lafreniere, your number one and number two picks from recent years. And so yes, I think the Rangers are going to deal him in a I think they're going to turn they would never let that prosperity happen.
It'd be so upsetting. It'd be so upsetting if they do that.
You do?
I do. I do. Because I don't think Hedo's coming back this year. They sent it back to Czechia, or the Czech Republic. What is it? Is it Czechia?
Czechia.
No, you're right.
The Czech Republic would be wrong.
Billy, can you check the stats on that one?
That's not mathematical. I don't have to check that.
Yeah, who's our grammatics guy? Certainly not Nick.
Guy.
Not me.
It's not Nick. 11th. It's not Nick.
Nedeljkovic, don't ask me.
Billy's so good with words. Come on.
Ay.
Billy's the wordsmith if it's written down. Can you just write it down?
Yeah, I can write and spell correctly. It doesn't mean I can pronounce any of it.
But I don't think Hedo's coming back, and that opens up the Rangers trade deadline because they don't have any cap space. They're not going to have any cap space, and the only cap space that they're going to have is to LTIR Hedl for the rest of the year. Kakko's coming back before the end of the year. He might be back right after the All-Star break. So I think Heedle's your only opportunity to at least do something at the deadline. Does that involve Gensel? Does that involve somebody like McLeod? But it's obvious that the Rangers need also some defensive depth as well. So they have a lot of pieces for a team that's leading the NHL. They have a lot of things to do at the deadlines to make them whole, to make them deeper for the playoffs. I was also I wanted to bring this up during Nick's section. But I saw what you saw, Nick, and I was looking at the standings earlier today. I think two teams from the Metro are going to make the playoffs in those wild card spots. I don't think that Detroit. Who knows? Detroit's got a lot of cap space. They could do something to bolster, their lineup.
Yep.
They already did with Patrick Kane, right? But I don't know. I just don't. I don't have any faith in Detroit. And may the stars shine brightly on you, Detroit, because we're talking shit on your team. Because it seems to happen with every fucking team that we do. Well, we started talking shit on Carolina. Now they're up to what, number 2 in the Metro now. But I just don't see Detroit. Detroit would be the only team, right, from the Atlantic that could pose a threat to the Metro, to one of the Metro teams.
Yeah, let me look at it again. But
yeah, I mean, they're at 38 points. Montreal poor fucking Buffalo. My God. And Ottawa's even worse than worse than fucking Columbus. So the only it's to I don't know. Or Tampa. Tampa.
They've been on a sorry. The Red Wings have been on a kind of a downswing. I didn't think they were making the playoffs. I think they're still too young. There's too many good teams in the East. But it's just, I mean, listen, Atlanta could implode even worse. I mean, look, Senators, Sabres I thought would be better. I thought they would make the step this year, but they're 38 games played and they're below 500. I mean, they're not looking like the team, and they're a minus 21 is pretty bad, pretty bad. I mean,
yeah, but if you look at Washington, they're minus 17.
I know, but
goal differential doesn't account for a lot because you have games where you beat San Jose 10-0 or whatever the fuck it was, and you get the Penguins at plus 13.
Yeah, I shouldn't put too much into that because I was going to say something earlier about how the Isles are -9, and it's because they don't win any games more than a 1 goal game basically. And then they get a couple, they get games 1-2 wins, 2 goal wins, 3 goal wins, and then they lose 7-0, and it comes roaring back. So, they haven't been able to get through that, and I don't think it matters much. It only just, kind of compounds the problems when you have like a team that's like the Bruins and they're 26 goal differential, but they're 23-7-6. I mean, that's a different story. So I agree. It doesn't mean as much, but the Red Wings are 3-7 in the last 10. They're not playing real well. And there's 0 overtime losses there. That's 7 regulation losses. So that's pretty poor. That's turned their season around quite a bit. Now it could be one of those things where they're going through a lull, but I don't know. The Lightning should be better. I mean, they're just still too stacked for me to write them off. Bruins, Panthers, Leafs, Lightning, those 4 teams should make the playoffs. They're just good teams. Bruins and Panthers, obviously. Leafs should be getting more points in my opinion. They're only 41, but those guys are still they got too much firepower there. Obviously, Rangers. I'm not a buyer on the Hurricanes, but here's the thing. I was telling my dad this when we were watching the game. Hurricanes and Isles are the same team. They are like mirror match. They try to play the same way. Hard forecheck, get more opportunities that way, force the other team to make mistakes. But they can't win, typically in like a skill game. They have to really make it a dirtier game. And to be honest, it's even though these games have been more exciting, it was a 5-4 game in that game. In this game we're watching right now, the Isles are winning 4-3, just 7 minutes to go in the second period of the Colorado game. Goals left and right. we're not playing a very good defensive game, but we're just forechecking very hard, pushing pressure on the other teams. So, in my opinion, I think Hurricanes Niles very similar. And I think they both made the playoffs. I don't see the Flyers making it. I think you're going to have one of the
Fuck the
the
Flyers.
Caps,
Fuck
Devils,
Fuck
or
the Flyers.
Penguins make it. I really feel like the Penguins are probably going to do it just because the Devils have been
Just up and
not
down.
good.
It's just up and down. It like I
I
said,
don't
it's
understand it.
There's no consistency
Yeah, because the
except for
Penguins.
them giving up the first goal. That's consistent.
The Penguins have too much experience, and they'll hit a fucking streak of those win. They're winning right now. They're winning like that we talked about right earlier, but they're gonna go on a streak. And I mean, like I said earlier, it's 40 to. It's only now it's a 6-point break, I guess, because Hurricanes won tonight. But from second to seventh, 6-point difference between all those teams. It's too much. So whoever's gonna want it more, and we have a lot of games left.
You were talking about goal differential. The one I don't understand the most is the Ottawa Senators. They are 14, 18, and 0, 28 points last in the East. Their goal differential is -1.
Blowout win, blowout loss.
It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
It's either a blowout or get blown out.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you look at other bottom feeders, right? The San Jose, poor San Jose Sharks, -78, Chicago -50, the Ducks -29. You'll bring it over to the East. You look at Columbus -24 and Buffalo -21, Montreal -23. How the fuck do you get a -1 and be 10th in your conference? That is mind-boggling. Actually, it's not 10th. It's fucking 16th. Sorry. But, woof.
Well, we'll go back a couple of games here. They beat the Sabres 5-1. They lost to the Devils 6-2. They beat the Leafs 4-2. They beat the Penguins 5-4. They lost to Colorado 6-4. So it's like you're saying, it's either a 1-goal game or they blow out or they get blown out. A 4-1 loss, a 5-1 win, a 4-3 loss, a 5-4 loss, a 6-2 win. So it's just all, back and forth.
Yeah. It's wackalicious, as the kids say.
Is that?
Kids,
I'm going to start using that. Is that
know
the thing the kids are saying?
Say wackalicious.
I'm going to start harnessing the shit out of that. I love it.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Well, the other fucking jokes you harkness.
You could say it all day long about his Boston Bruins.
How much he loves the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And how they won tonight.
How they're wackalicious.
They are
Love my black and gold.
Wackalish. All right, I will be on location next week. I will remember to bring my microphone. Thank God. But we will be back at it next Tuesday night recording. Don't forget to go on the Twix at @friends_rivals. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We will read them on the air if you want us to. While you're there, turn on notifications for the Friends of Rivals podcast so you never miss an episode. Billy, say something with it.
Happy belated birthday, Jesus. 2023 years young. 1,990 years since you could play guitar. But happy belated birthday.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck off.